Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of my little series on side hustle life. So, as promised in episode 1, we're going to talk a little bit about my experience as a newbie Instacart driver. So, yeah, man, let's get into it. So, as I shared last video, I drive here in Victoria, BC, Canada, uh, and surrounding areas. So we'll just call it Greater Victoria. I've been an Instacart shopper since December 2022, so not that long. And I've done 168 orders thus far. So, first thing to know about Instacart, there's a big difference between batches and orders. A batch is what you accept. It's what, when you hit the I'm going to do this, you're accepting the batch. A batch can include up to, in my market, 3 orders. Okay. So sometimes you get a triple shop from Walmart, or you get a double shop that's Walmart and Costco or Superstore. They mix and match them all the time. The only thing I know for sure is Costco only allows you to do a maximum of 2 shops in one batch, at least in my market, which is smart because Costco stuff is big. And I've done a double shop at Costco and have filled a buggy to the brim. And it wasn't even that much stuff. So it makes sense. Makes sense. But let's dive in and just we're going to go over some numbers. We're going to go over some things. But remember, every market is different. Every market, how much money you can make changes because it's based off of population, popularity of the app, how many drivers there are, what peak and bonus times are offered, if there's any incentives offered. Every market's a little bit different. So Victoria and Greater Victoria is a smaller market, and Instacart is newer here. So just a little warning, the stuff you are about to see, the money I've made, may not be the same if you, say, live in a Vancouver or a Toronto, because, as more drivers are on the road, it's sad to say you'll be offered less money because a driver, as long as the drivers are taking the orders, Instacart doesn't have to pay as much. So it's a sad state, but it's true. But we'll get into that a little more. So let's jump in. So when you first log on to Instacart, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see batches available. And I just wanted to show you in my market, batches can be really good. They can be really bad. And Boost makes all the difference. So right now in Victoria, our Saturday, Sunday, Mondays all have Boost attached to it. So I wanted to show you an example. So the example that you see without Boost, that's just a random weekday. Nothing special, not very busy. You'll see, $20, 28, 25, not very much for your time. And you'll notice, the item count's a little small, 14 items, 15 items, 19 items. But you'll see the kilometers, are, 16 kilometers, 18 kilometers. And remember, Instacart, unlike Uber, Instacart doesn't pay you to go to the store. So if you're like 20 kilometers from the store already, you ain't getting paid to drive to that store. They only pay you from store to customer. So remember that if you're, calculating mileage and, what's worth it to you. But then you see the with Boost. Those are just some examples there. They're bigger shops because there's multiple orders. You'll see, on non-Boost days, it's a lot of single orders. On Boost days, 50, 60, 70, even more are possible, but you got to work for it because you're doing multiple shops at once. So just, I wanted to throw you an example of kind of what we're seeing here in Victoria and what kind of money can be made. But you know what? Let's get the negative out of the way before we jump into the positive. Let's talk about avoiding the shit. So these are 2 examples of orders that you do not want to take. $25 for 66 items, 91 units. So items are individual things you have to find in a store. Units are if there's multiple of certain items you have to find. So we're talking 66 items, 91 units at a Walmart. That's crazy. That shop is going to take you, if you're an average driver, an hour, hour and a half in the store. Uh, if you're super experienced, you might be able to do it quicker, but that's a brutal shop. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but there's no tip included. And then you see this other one here. It's only 5 kilometers. Both of these are low kilometers, but also no tip. And 21 items, 30 units. This is not worth your time. The first shop for 25.32, that's going to take you between 2 and 3 hours. Your time should be, your gas, your car, it should be worth a hell of a lot more to you than, with 12 bucks an hour? Less? $8 an hour? Like, come on, you have to calculate it out. These shops deserve to sit there and rot until the end of the day. Because if, the customer's not going to tip, if you're not going to get paid, you can't lose money on the shop. I consider both of these losers. It's going to cost you. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, maybe they're giving you a cash tip. Let's be real. I have done over 7,000 deliveries between multiple apps. I have only gotten a cash tip maybe 10 or 15 times in 7,000 deliveries. Cash tips, no, they're not a thing. That's an old school thing. They just don't happen these days. What young people even have cash on them? It's just not. It's not a thing. Sometimes they happen, yes, but are you going to risk 2 to 3 hours of your time at 12 or less dollars an hour in the hopes of that 0.7% chance of getting a cash tip? No, that would make you foolish. And remember, you're an independent contractor. You're not an employee. You have the right to not take these orders. So please don't. The thing about these customers is they need to learn. They need to be taught a bit of a lesson. No tip means no service. And maybe next time they order, especially if they're going to order close to 100 items, maybe throw your driver a little scratch. Now, the whole tipping thing, we can get into that. I feel tipping in other areas, like tipping your server, tipping your hairdresser, tipping your tattoo artist, whatever. Like, that's a nice thing. Did they do a good job? Did they help you? Was the service great? Yeah, throw them some extra money. Instacart, you need to look at tipping a little different, and our customers need to look at tipping a little different. Tipping is it's not about did you get good service. That's why it offers you the ability to tip more when you rate us. It's about, do you want your groceries quick? Do you want this premium service that's being offered? There's a lot of other options out there where you can get your groceries delivered without a tip. Here in Victoria, let's just talk about it. You can order right off the Walmart website. That gets farmed out to DoorDash and other companies, Uber and stuff like that. There's no tipping needed there. The drivers get paid a decent amount. Well, at least on Uber they do. And so you just get your food. You get your groceries. Good to go. With Superstore, there's this thing called PC Express. There's also no tipping on that option. Now, the difference with PC Express and Instacart is PC Express delivery, you have to block off a time. So you're probably not going to get your groceries today, and you're going to have like a 2 or 3 hour time window in which you will get your groceries within 24 hours. If you don't want a tip, that's a great option for you. Instacart is just that. Insta. It means you get your groceries right now, today, within the hour, within 2 hours, within 3 hours. You get your groceries today. You don't have to go there. You don't have to find parking. You don't have to hope you have a loonie to get a freaking shopping cart. You don't have to wander through the aisles and have to stop for every Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants to eat a free bite of granola because like they're freaking starving or something at the damn food sample tables. Don't get me started about those food sample tables. Drives me nuts. Man, shoppers, just get in and get out, get your stuff. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So, what does tipping mean to Instacart drivers? Well, it's an acronym. 2, Ensure prompt service. That is right. Tipping is you ensure prompt service. If you want your groceries, you want your driver to go above and beyond for you, throw on the tip. I use this as an example. I have certain things in my life that I absolutely hate doing. One of those things is floors, vacuuming, cleaning. I hate doing floors with a passion. Now, like I vacuum and stuff like that, that's all good. But, sometimes you need that deep clean, mopping, scrubbing, vacuuming the carpets, look at the, spot cleaning, all that nonsense. I hate doing that. So I hire a cleaner once or twice a month. I hire a cleaner to come in, do that deep clean because I also like a clean house. What do I pay that cleaner? In Victoria here, I pay an average of $35 an hour, right? So if you hate shopping and somebody's going to frickin' Costco for you on a Sunday, maybe you should think about how much do I hate this? How much would I pay for somebody else to do this for me? Right? Right? There's your rule of thumb. Now, if the old argument, well, maybe it's a single mom or maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they're super broke. Then why do you have a Costco membership? Because those are expensive. Why are you buying 8 bags of chips and some like freaking frozen dessert treats? Anyway, no judgment. I get, well, okay, a little bit of judgment, but like let's be real. You gotta look at it differently. This isn't just about the service you got from your delivery person. This is about not doing something you hate doing. Going into a busy shopping mall, complex, grocery store, whatever. You can avoid that. You can sit and play your PlayStations, be on your TikToks, have a nap, do whatever you want to do while somebody does it for you, so pay for it. Thank you. All right, so the gold. Let's get into the positive. Here are some examples of orders I have taken since December that I just want to highlight are phenomenal. I'm not going to read through them all, but you can kind of see, we got $30 tips, like 30, oh man, $60 tip there, $62 tip, $66 tip, $54 tip. These are people who understand. Now, these aren't single people giving these massive tips. Like some of them are, but some of them are like broken up, it's just, these are the ones you want to go after. These were worth my time. Some of these took 2 hours. Some of these took 3 hours, but I'm making more than minimum wage. It's worth it to me. You got to define what's worth it to you. Do it. But do us drivers a favor. Do your peers a favor. And when you see those garbage ones we just looked at, don't take them. Don't take them. We need to reward good behavior and take these deliveries and kick ass doing them with a smile on your face, and just ignore those pathetic little ones. So this is the gold. These are the ones you want. Next is the unicorn. These are rare. I don't want to say this is a normal occurrence, but sometimes you get awesome customers like this. This customer I've delivered to twice, and both times he has tipped this amount. Love it. This was a Costco delivery for only about like 25 items at Costco. Guy tipped $101.40. What? It's my first $100 plus tip I have ever gotten in the delivery side hustle life. So these do happen. You got to be on that app. You got to be ready with the button. Like you literally got to be ready. Just tap that thing because people will snag these so quick. I highly recommend having a very up-to-date, newer phone. In my experience, I have both Android and Apple. For some reason, Apple phones tend to get offers a smidge quicker. My reasoning for that, my estimation of why that is the Google app platform is significantly easier to deal with for, people who build apps, for app creators. Apple is the strict one. So I feel like the app was probably built for the Apple side of things first. and optimized for the App Store with Apple. Then it was just converted and made okay for Google. So I just have a feeling that, as much as I'm not a huge Apple fan, it's been my experience that I see orders of just a second quicker than the Android phones out there. So just keep that in mind. It's working well for me. I get orders and accept them before my friends even see them. So there's something there, maybe. I can't confirm it. I don't know. And I'm sure Instacart won't share that either. But hey, just something for you to know. Just my experience thus far. So let's go over. I started back in December and I did my first order, and it was a pathetic little $27. But fun fact, that $27 order was actually my order. I ordered off Instacart for the first time and thought to myself, well, no one's picking it up. I'll just turn on Instacart and maybe I'll get it. And I did. So I delivered to myself, and it was lovely. I gave myself an excellent ranking and a really good tip because, I really felt that myself was awesome. But you'll see, January I played with it and then I got right into it. And man, that's all weeks. That's weeks. 521, 442, 485, 341, 851, 640, 745, and 542. And currently I'm only at 133 because I'm taking it easy this week. But that's some decent money. And remember, that's just like part-time. I work a full-time other job. I'm making those numbers just on the side after work on weekends. And I'm also doing Uber as well, so nothing to shake a stick at. But I wanted to just show you, this is real life numbers. This is really what I'm making. Instacart does instant cash out. So at any time, up to 5 times a day, you can just cash out your money and have it in your account within seconds, which is awesome. So yeah, highly recommend Instacart, guys. So yeah, that's it. That's my little intro to Instacart. Quick tips I'll give you is don't get discouraged when you first start. It's hard to find stuff in stores that you're not familiar with. Everybody should be familiar with Walmart's, but man, you think you know where stuff is until you're shopping for somebody else. And then you find out very quick that you don't know where anything is. It gets better. My first shop took me over 3 hours. I was completely lost. The store was closing. They're paging, if you're currently shopping, please move to the checkout. It was bad. I had no clue what I was doing. Now, if I would get that shop now, I'd be done that shop in 45 minutes and out the door. You just get quick. Every item that you can't find, you'll always be able to find it after that. So don't get discouraged. Get to know your shops. If it's a slow day and you're not getting orders, if you're feeling up to it, go walk through the store with your phone on, being ready to take an order. Look at things, learn where things are. If you couldn't find something on the previous shop, see if you can find it the next day. The more you know where stuff is, the quicker you will be. When I started, my average, Instacart tells you how many seconds it takes you to find something. My average was ridiculous, 140, 150 seconds per item. Now I'm down to 90 seconds per item. So you can get there. And I got there fairly quick. Again, only really started in January, and it's only March, and I'm already flying through the stores. So yeah, get used to it. Get used to your stores. I would say Instacart is very worth doing. Also, it's great exercise. You're walking around a ton. So if you're doing the step counting, you'll get a lot of steps. Other tips and tricks for you, have a cart, because sometimes people order 8 cases of water from Costco and they're on the second floor with no elevator. Having a cart is handy. Take your time and really try and find the item. Nothing pisses off a customer more than a missing item, an item that you had to refund because you couldn't find it. And maybe it was the star of the meal they were creating that night. So really take your time. Understand that the best customers are responsive customers. When you do replacements for customers, you want them to respond and be like, yeah, that's cool. Because a surefire way to lose ranking and lose tips is replacing items that you're not sure if the customer really is going to want. So responsive customers are the way to go, but sometimes you don't get them. And as a customer of Instacart, I will tell you, when you order, it asks you clear as day, do you want your driver to find you replacements? Do you want your driver to issue refunds if they can't find stuff? And then you can go in and individually, as you select items, pick the replacement you would want for them. So some customers are just lazy. They order their groceries, they throw their phone on the couch and they go about their day and they won't respond to you. It is how it is. Yeah, well, nothing you can do about it. But try and chat with your customers as much as possible. Send them a little welcome message like, hey, I've started your shop. Let me know if you need anything. You'd be amazed. And a lot of these tippers are tipping based off a percentage of the groceries. So getting the most groceries in that cart is to your benefit. The more you refund, the less your tip. So remember that too, okay? And the last tip I'll give for any new Instacart drivers out there is when you're new, you get offered a bonus to start. So it's a guaranteed amount for your first however many shops. I didn't realize this. I didn't really even look at it. So I was just taking the big banger shops and the lots of money shops, and the bonus meant nothing to me. So when you start, take the little ones. Take the tiny 1 kilometer, $8 shops. Because once you do a certain amount, you get bumped up and it's free money for easy work. And it gives you a chance to try it out before you do what I did. And on my first real shop that wasn't my own, I took like an 81 unit shop and it was hell on earth. So yeah, pay attention to your bonuses, pay attention to the peak times, plan your weeks and when you're going to Instacart around on those peak times and the bonus times, and you'll do great. So, yeah, I'm not trying to pressure anybody to do it. I'm not even saying, hey, I can give you a referral. If you want a referral, you could, of course, comment in the bottom, but I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I'm just telling you my personal experience with Instacart. So far, so freaking good. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you for the next video. What up?